Hey, what's going on, friends? Welcome back to Cosmic Hypnosis. I'm Bob, a hypnotherapist, Andromedan starseed, and ET contactee. Today, we're taking a look at a Q&A clip from a QHHT session recorded on October 18th, 2023, with Asha of the Tall Whites, where we ask Asha what her opinion is of humanity's strengths and weaknesses down here on Earth. If you're on the internet right now, you're probably well aware that the state of the world is pretty messed up. Despite that reality, most people that find themselves listening to hypnosis sessions have a very growth-oriented mindset and are on the constant search for knowledge and expansion. While on that quest for knowledge, it's important to take an objective look at ourselves not only on an individual basis, but to also examine humanity as a single entity. In order for us to improve and grow, we have to not only take a hard look at what we're doing wrong, but also what we're doing right. It's time to come together and create real, actionable goals, to start working towards those goals, and to constantly analyze ourselves along the way. I've always been a very harsh critic of myself, sometimes to my own detriment. But through that self-criticism, I was able to create a pathway for actionable growth that helped pull me along my personal journey here on Earth. Sometimes it's difficult for us to accurately analyze the situation that we find ourselves in from a truly objective perspective. Thanks to the power of QHHT, we were able to ask Asha of the Tall Whites to give us her opinion of humanity in session. These are two of the many questions that we have asked to all of our ET contacts in session, so that we can both maximize potential insight as well as to compare how our various contacts differ in perspective with their unique personalities from their various races. Here's what Asha has to say when asked what her thoughts are in regards to what humanity's strengths and weaknesses are down here on Earth. Enjoy.
What would you say is humanity's biggest strength?
One of humanity's biggest strengths is their never-ending resolve, their will to push forward despite great adversity, their ability to come together in very harsh circumstances, continue to fight for their survival. That is something that I have always been very impressed with. Our groups work heavily within your military to help advance your ability to defend yourselves, which has put us into contact with many very strong souls that have incarnated as humans. We have detailed throughout these sessions how there are a number of Solar Warden assets that we have worked directly with, Bob and Brad included. Both of them are Andromedan souls, but they are incarnated here as humans. They often go up against Draco on the battlefield that are up to 15 to 20 feet tall, but they stand between 6 and 7 feet in their 2.0 bodies. Bob and Brad do. Meanwhile, they are fighting beings that are sometimes 2, 3, 4 times as tall or as large as them. Now, while Bob and Brad in these programs are physically enhanced as well as trained, and their ET abilities are unlocked fully so that they can fully combat these beings, they are still taken as children off this planet, and they are put through some very rough torture to unlock some of these abilities, and they're put into situations where the average human would struggle. But many of these children are able to thrive, and it is something that has always impressed me about humanity, is their ability to push through and not only survive, but thrive and be able to stand up and defend their planet, no matter the odds, no matter the consequences, no matter who is standing across from them. Human ingenuity is a very interesting and resourceful trait, something that we are deeply impressed with.
What would you say is humanity's greatest weakness?
Humanity's greatest weakness is the tendency for some people to be corruptible. Humanity has the ability to be very loving and full of light and moving in a positive trajectory and coming together and supporting and loving and helping and nurturing and a lot of beautiful things, but humanity also has the ability to be selfish and not care about their fellow human. Service to self. We see a lot of war on this planet. We see a lot of violence, the extreme of good and the extreme of evil. We see some, for example, serial killers, or the way some people act out with violence or corruption, whether it be within the governments or the private sector. There are many people suffering on your planet, and there are many people not suffering on your planet. But it is relatively rare that those that thrive reach down and pick up those that do not thrive. Greed is a very corruptible force, and it is something that is unfortunately very prevalent on Earth. But that is what you will be unfortunately experiencing. Well, we say unfortunate, but it is often fortunate in the long run. But the 3D reality that you live in on Earth is full of light and dark and good and bad, as we have stated, and unfortunately, on one end of the spectrum, it can get rather dark, but it is through those acts that acts as a catalyst for growth for those around those people. So it's a matter of perspective of a bit, but we would argue that the negative tendencies of those that are corruptible are humanity's biggest weakness. The temptation of darkness in the sense of service to self is humanity's biggest weakness, and their lack of interest in shared goals that would truly move the planet forward. It's rather frustrating to watch at times.
As always, a big thanks to our patrons for your ongoing support of the channel, allowing us to do this work, and to you for checking out our content. To hear more of our work, check out the various playlists here on the channel, and head over to our Patreon for the stuff that we can't release publicly here on YouTube, as well as for membership tiers with discounts on your next online session with us. If you're interested in finding your purpose for incarnating on Earth, where your soul comes from, how you can best navigate your life, and hearing ideal advice by you, for you, check out the links in the description for booking an online session with Alysse or myself today. We look forward to learning and growing with you. I'll talk to you in the comments and see you in the next one.